We entitled this session Looking Forward, Building a More Prosperous Future in a Dynamic Region, which was also the overall title of this two-day event that we've had here in Istanbul. The idea here is really to kind of look ahead. We've looked at a little bit at the past and certainly at a lot of present tense concerns on the energy side, on the economic side, on the political side. Here, talk a little bit about some of the strategies that individual countries need to be thinking about to build prosperity for the future, and in particular to hear from two ministers and from the private sector to kind of fill that picture out for those of us who are here, and hopefully there will be, I'm sure there will be a few others that straggle in from the previous event. The Atlantic Council is extremely grateful to Turkish Finance Minister Mehmet Simsek in particular for being here. We're very grateful to all of our participants, but I want to particularly note Minister Simsek, who has spoken at each of the previous gatherings we've had here in Istanbul. He has been very supportive of what we're trying to do, both in general in this country and in this region, and in particular supportive of what we're doing in these Atlantic Council Energy and Economic Summits. Minister Simsek is a second-term member of the Turkish Parliament. He is in his second term, I guess we could say, as a minister here, having started as economy minister and moved to the finance portfolio a couple of years ago. Before entering politics, he worked for Merrill Lynch. He has important private sector experience that will also both leavens his work as a minister, but will also leaven our discussions here. In addition to that part of his portfolio, I at least feel a little bit of kinship with him because many years ago, he worked at the American Embassy in Ankara as an economic analyst, and I was very pleased and proud to talk about that with our embassy staff when I was there. There's a bright future for you in international finance and potentially in Turkish politics if you decide to go in that direction. I'm also very grateful that Minister Dobrev can be with us. His predecessor attended these events in 2010 and 2011, spoke with us at the Atlantic Council in Washington. Bulgaria is a good and important friend of the Atlantic Council, and we're very grateful that you can be here as well, Mr. Minister. Let me do briefly two bits of housekeeping before I turn the proceedings over to our moderator, Bob Abernethy, member of the Atlantic Council Board of Directors. First, you have on the desks in front of you a questionnaire. We'd ask you to please fill it out and check some boxes as appropriate to give us some feedback about this 2 days worth of events. What was interesting, what was maybe less interesting, what would you like to see more of, less of, et cetera. This will be very helpful to us as we work to continue to improve this event and develop it over time. The last thing I'll note, and this is, I think is especially for those of you that might not be at tonight's dinner, at dinner tonight, Atlantic Council President CEO Fred Kemp will more formally announce the dates for next year's, the tentative dates for next year's Energy and Economic Summit here in Istanbul. We announced last year that this would be our long-term home. We plan to do this next year, the same 2-day period keyed to the American calendar. We have done this for several years now on the Thursday, Friday before our American Thanksgiving week. American Thanksgiving is next week. In 2013, Thanksgiving is a little bit later. So the tentative dates we're planning on, please mark these in your diary, are November 21, 22. We look forward to seeing all of you there. With no further ado, let me turn it over to Bob Abernethy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ross. I want to thank you for everything you've done in making this conference possible. I think you are the driving force that put it all together, came up with the ideas of the program content. You've done a fabulous job. You came into it with knowing not only Turkey, but this whole region intimately before you started in this process. So we appreciate that. I'd also like, I'm vice chairman of the board of the Atlantic Council and also a chair of its programs committee. And I would like to say a word of thanks and appreciation on behalf of my colleagues to Fred Kemp. Fred came in about 5 years